Angus is coming in.
Yep.
Who's on the iPad?
Me,
Diane. Hi, Diane.
me, John.
You're stealth.
I don't know why they do that. They don't like me.
All right.
Top of the morning and happy Valentine's Day to you all.
Oh, same to you, Angus.
Thank you.
Yeah, where are my chocolates, Angus?
I
You didn't
ate
get them? You didn't get the flowers either?
No.
The champagne? The hot bubble bath?
Wow, I'm a little disappointed. All right, so script. All right, so it is February 14th at 1:02. This is the Historic Structures Advisory Board, Nantucket Island. And here is the script for remotely conducted open meetings. We are using Zoom webinar for this meeting, which allows for the public to participate in the meeting as an attendee. Attendees must register to participate. Oh, actually, do I have to even read that stuff? No.
No.
Okay. There we are. Introduction. Okay, there we go. As a preliminary matter, this is Brooke Mirbrigan. I am acting chair at this meeting. Esmeralda is here. Esmeralda Martinez.
Present, thank you.
Let's see. Members, when I call your name, please respond in the affirmative. Angus McLeod.
Here.
Lucy Dillon.
Yeah.
Esmeralda Martinez.
Present.
All right. And there are no anticipated speakers on the agenda. So we'll move to the introduction. Good afternoon. This open meeting of the Historic Structures Advisory Board, Nantucket Island, is being conducted remotely pursuant to Chapter 20 of the Act of 2021. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not feature public comment as previously noted. For this meeting, the Historic Structures Advisory Board is convening by video conference via Zoom webinar as posted on the town's website, identifying how the public may join. For Zoom meetings, please note that this meeting is being recorded and that all attendees are participating by video conference. Accordingly, please be aware that other folks may be able to see you, and take care not to screen share your computer. Anything that you broadcast may be captured by the recording. All supporting materials that have been provided members of this body are available on the town's website unless otherwise noted. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless I, Brooke Mirbrigan, the chair, notes otherwise. Meeting business ground rules. We are now turning to the first item on the agenda. Before we do, permit me to cover some ground rules for effective and clear conduct of our business and to ensure accurate meeting minutes. Brooke Mirbrigan, the chair, acting chair, will introduce each speaker on the agenda. After they conclude their remarks, the chair will go down the line of members, inviting each by name to provide any comment, questions, or motions. Please hold until your name is called. Further, please remember to mute your phone or computer when you're not speaking. Please remember to speak clearly and in a way that helps generate accurate minutes. For any response, please wait until the chair yields the floor to you and state your name before speaking. If members wish to engage in a conversation with other members, please do so through the chair, taking care to identify yourself. For items with public comment, after members have spoken, the chair will afford public comment to those members of the public that have joined the meeting via Zoom. Members of the public who wish to speak must state their names and be acknowledged by and speak through the chair. Finally, each vote taken in this meeting will be conducted by roll call vote. All right, so without further ado, we are on.
I'd like to say hi, Esmeralda.
Sorry, what was that?
I would like to say hi to you because you've
Oh,
never
hi.
met me before.
Thank
All
you.
right, so I'm going to share my screen. Please confirm that you guys can you see this?
Yes.
All right. All righty, let me just shift that over. All right, first up is 22 Easton Street. This is a pool and hardscape, and let's see. assume this is new business. All right, so R1 zoning, 16 by 34. Oh, sorry, length is 38 by 15. And this is the property in question. And then I've got to let some people in. Sorry for the delay admitting those here. Posting for the first time in a while, so I'm working on my button skills. All right.
Anyone representing
So is
this?
Miroslav Ahern here? Anybody? Okay. And all right, so this is all is for the pool. It's for driveways and walkways and apron. I thought we saw this.
We have seen it
Why are we looking at it again?
because they've changed the dimensions of the pool. And I think,
Okay. All right. Well, either Angus or Lucy, would you like to speak first? Because I don't have comments to read. So I think we'll just start in with commentary if you have some. And
I do, if I may go first.
yes, let me just write down, get a piece of paper and scribe away.
Okay, that says on the plan, I believe that they're changing the apron to brick, proposed brick apron. However, on the application, it says the antique granite. We've been through that, I think, twice, and it's been to HDC. No one wants those large pieces of antique granite.
Yeah.
They're not in keeping with the program down there. And I do have a question with the change in the pool size. Does that mean the applicant has to come back with revisions to the hardscaping? And thirdly, I don't see any light plan. I'm concerned in some of these larger projects that we're seeing now that we'll have excessive outdoor lighting and even worse, uplighting on trees.
Okay. So the plan, at least the one I'm looking at, looks like it's still like it's a 10 by 15 spa. At least on the site plan. So it doesn't look like they're changing the size. I mean, the application says that it's still 15 by 38, but I suspect that will be part of any request to change.
I think, Brooke, if there's a spa and the pool.
Yeah, and the outline in red is the proposed pool.
See?
It says initially proposed.
So why is it still on the current application?
Usually, at least in my experience, you leave the things on that were previously proposed to show that things have changed. So we can make a note to query pool graphic.
Okay.
Yeah, because the boardwalk isn't really accommodating the pool.
Right. All right, so
Lucy
Angus,
beat me
sorry,
to
go
the
ahead.
comments about the brick.
Angus, go ahead.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Lucy beat me to the comments about the apron. I appreciate the change to brick, as long as that's stated on the application.
Yeah, it's not stated on the application. Granite's still on the application.
And that's all.
Okay,
And don't forget the lighting.
and I got that right here. Lighting plan, exclamation point.
Yes.
No uplights. Dang it. All right, so next is 7 North Mill.
Garage or landscape? I mean, hardscape.
Hang on a second. I think.
Its garage is listed first on the agenda.
Yeah, let me, hang on, I think I might have only downloaded the, hardscape. Oh no, it was a huge file, that's why. Sorry, I'm going through my, my list right here to see if I actually have this already.
Take your time.
I'm trying not to. Huh, that's weird. Okay, well, it's still downloading on my end. So let's see, who do we have here that's waiting patiently in line for an application? We have Elizabeth O'Rourke.
Yep, I have 3 small applications. I'm ready to go if you.
Yep, as soon as I can find him. There's just a pile of them here.
know, 45 Hulbert, 7 East
Yep.
Lincoln, or 1 Bloom.
Yeah.
Happy Valentine's, everyone.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Well, you know what, Elizabeth, I've got 7 East Lincoln handy. So you want to do that one?
Sure.
All right. I'll look for.
Yeah.
All right. So this is Belgium block, apron and bluestone walks.
Yeah, it's basically a walkway and a driveway. And the driveway, they really wanted to downplay it. As you know, we're required to have a 10-foot masonry apron on an asphalt road.
Mhm.
So we're meeting that with like as small as we can make it. It's 8 feet. And it just has the little flare. And then we're going to the cobble and the grass again to downplay the driveway, and then a little apron at the garage. And then it's just walkways to the door.
All right.
So I mean, I have every belief that this is going to go in consent with HDC. It's a brand new house, brand new garage. So what you're looking at is in the ground, like really a two-dimensional feature.
7 East Lincoln. Angus, Lucy, you have anything you want to?
The aprons that are on East Lincoln, are they predominantly brick or cobblestone or Belgian block?
There's a mixture in this area. I'd say Belgian block and brick are the most common. But I think Angus doing brick and grass is more difficult than doing the Belgian block and grass because it gives more traction to the tires. So it doesn't get muddy. And in my experience, the grass grows better over the Belgian block over time. So kind of, over the Belgian block over time, so it downplays the hardscape aspect.
What kind of edging are you going to have along the Belgian block? One of your photographs have a raised?
No edging.
Okay,
It's just the Belgian block.
But it's all going to be, all the Belgian block going to be flush with the lawn?
Yes.
Because you have one photograph there where it's raised.
Well, that's the road. I mean, I'm not responsible for the road that's existing. They have a little,
Not the road.
they have a little, what do you call that, piece of curb?
Yeah, but there's going to be no curbing. Everything's going to be flush with the lawn.
Right, but I mean, I can't take the town curbing away, I don't believe, But
So
we're gonna
Elizabeth,
be
the
at
reason
one
why
level.
Lucy is bringing that up is because down on Hulbert Avenue, there have been requests for curbing at the corner of Lincoln Circle. And when the entire street has no curb, it does look like, according to these photos, that there is curbing there. And it looks like it's low profile.
Right.
So does that answer your question, Lucy?
Well, those photographs you're showing, it's the upper right photograph on the right side. The apron has a raised curb of Belgian block.
Soldier
I see what
course.
you're saying. I
Yeah.
see what you're saying. No, we're not doing that, Lucy. It was
Okay,
just.
Okay, so no soldier course.
Yeah,
Right.
everything flush with the lawn.
All right. All right. Flush with lawn. All right, Angus, would you like to add anything?
No, I think it's all right. I always sort of lean towards the cobblestone, just because I feel like it's less formal but I think that it makes sense to go with what's on the street, and I agree with the comments about curbing and so forth.
I would like to make one comment, though, is because of the Disabilities Act, that if there was a sidewalk along this street, that the cobblestone, I don't believe, would be in compliance.
Oh, you mean the Belgian block?
I mean, excuse me, yes,
Yeah. Well, they'd probably have to change that, but there's no sidewalk there, so.
I know, that's what I'm just making that point, though, because we just had along Easton Street, we've had people who wanted to do stuff, and there is a sidewalk.
Okay, gotcha.
Possibly.
All right, I think that's it. So I'm just saying no soldier course, flush with lawn. I mean, if you can get that grass detail into the driveway apron, that would be great too. Just given how informal it is still down there. All right, I found 45 Hulbert Avenue. So let me slide that over here. And this is shell parking, Belgian block apron, boardwalk, natural to weather at grade, picket gate.
Yep, so really all we wanted, the house is pretty high off the ground because of the flood zone. I think it's at elevation 10 there. And the ground here is at elevation 5. There were 2 Belgian block apron pre-existing at this location. So it's kind of reusing the same stone that they had. And again, meeting the requirement of the 10 foot of depth as per the DPW in the town. And the rest is a shell parking, and then the walkway to get to the door would just be the little boardwalk.
Okay,
And then the little picket fence on the right hand side is just for a little gate, a little side gate to enter.
all right.
And
And
that's,
the second apron is not our clients, it's off of their property. So that remains.
Elizabeth, is the boardwalk flush with grade?
Yes. I mean, maybe a couple inches up, Angus, but not.
Thank you.
Not a full.
All right. Lucy,
it looks like the shell parking area has Belgian block edging there on your drawing.
Yeah, one row to contain, otherwise the shells will go everywhere. It's kind of treated like a liquid. It'll just be one row of block to contain it.
Okay, because some areas I just use a metal stripping or whatever you call that.
Yeah, if it's metal, it's gonna rust really quickly.
yeah, it is in a very saltwatery environment. I don't see this the soldier course that you're talking about.
On the plan, just on the plan.
But that's good, that Belgian block's gonna be flush with the lawn.
Yes. Not raised.
And what's the trim color on that house?
I believe it's white.
Okay, you just have a small section of fencing there, and that's gonna be white?
Yeah, there's so much white fencing along Halbert. I think it's in keeping with the neighborhood.
Okay,
It's
thank
just a little
you.
gate. Thank you.
Angus, anything to add?
I guess my concern would be about the border, the separation. I'd rather see the metal. I mean, it rusts everywhere. We've got salt water everywhere. But it seems thick enough that it would, endure. It'll certainly rust, but I don't think it's going to disintegrate.
How about this? How about the soldier course stays where the shell parking is, but not at the apron? That way you're not looking at it as you go down the road.
Well, I don't mind the coursing along the edge as long as it's flush with everything. I just don't think it should be standing up.
Mhm.
the soldiers.
I think it's better that it's flush,
Yeah.
but it makes it all, that much more formal when there's a hard visible border like that.
Right, but I would say this is a really big gambrel house, high off the ground, and it's a very, sort of understated landscape. Just to have a clean outline at the driveway for a 2-car parking, I don't think is overkill in terms of formality. And I think, having a rusty steel edging, I don't think that adds any charm at all to the property.
All right.
One more question.
Yep.
The boardwalk, that's gonna be natural to weather?
Yes,
It's not gonna be oiled or anything and take on that terrible orange color?
no,
Okay, all right, thank you.
I like those boardwalks. All righty.
Bloom?
Yeah, is that you?
yes,
Elizabeth, are you Bloom?
yes, yep. I'm always in bloom.
All right, this is fence 6'3", solid board picket length 173. And walkways are, is that like the mica schist, the Goshen stone?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Great stuff, love it. Hardscape, mica, and brick.
So the street side is on the right hand side. So the whole landscape in the back, you would not see the arbor gate, so that's solid at the end of the driveway. It's a smallish driveway. It's a big plan, so it barely fits 2 cars. And they wanted to be able to walk in on a surface that was somewhat stable. So we're going to do the mica with sort of the slightly irregular edges, but to make it look like it's antique pieces. And then you would have the brick tracks for the tires. And then the garden has kind of a meandering path. We have no lawn on this property. The client wanted to stay away from having a lawn and big hedges and all of that. So we're going more with an informal garden look. So it has a meandering path with irregular stepping stones and creepers in between. And there were an assortment of fencing on the property. And we're going to go with the one that's on the upper right of the plan. So it's kind of a solid board and it has these little windows at the top, so that instead of having like a lattice stuff, but again, this is existing on the site and it's pretty visible from Bloom Street. So we thought to have, it's kind of next to the white car on the parking on the left photo. That style of fencing. So we're going to carry it in the back. And then in the front, we just have the short picket with a cap, natural to weather. And I think that's.
So this is the picket line right here.
Yeah, that's right. And there was one before on the old photographs. You can see there was a picket fence there.
Whereas, do you have the old
I-
photos? Or they-
I don't know if there's another page. I have some in the folder, but
it's not in this file, so.
yeah. I can see if I can pull it up while you have your discussion.
All right. So you're looking at, okay, the mica pavers are the square ones. And that's going to be in the driveway.
Right.
Gotcha. Proposed storage shed. Okay. All right. Angus.
I'd rather see the picket fence be a little bit lower, a maximum of 3 feet, and it looks like the dimension, it's 3 feet. I'm seeing a dimension of 3, but maybe that's the post.
That's
Okay.
fine.
3 feet for the fence. And okay, maybe it's the background. It looks like a board fence. Okay.
So maximum 3 feet for type 2 picket fence.
The combination of the brick tracks and the mica pavers seems a little unusual. Like usually the tracks are in shell or grass or something, but to have stone and brick, I'm just wondering how much
So
sense
if I
that.
can answer that, again, by the DPW and the planning board were required to have hardscape for the first 10 feet. And we felt like a whole mica driveway was overkill, and all brick would feel overwhelming, and that's not what there was before. So we thought, because we talked about having shell tracks, but then you would have sort of masonry to start, you would have another material, then you would have shell, and we felt it was getting too busy. So that's why we kept it to just kind of a simple mica walkway, which you can find right around the corner on Main Street, and the brick tracks, which is very, it's all over the place in this area. So
I like the idea of using the mica or the brick. I'm just thinking that seems like too much to do both. I would pick one and satisfy the requirement for the setback off the street with one or the other. Is there a sidewalk there? Is that?
no, there isn't. And
No.
I
Right
can
on the
share,
street.
I can share a photo if you want.
Okay, so, right.
Could they use those old cobbles in the middle between the,
Well, they're kind of entering the elderly phase. So they didn't feel comfortable with this material. Too uncertain for footing, for walking. Yeah, they felt like mobility might be an issue in the near future, and wanted to stay away from the.
What about having the mica pavers for the tracks and the apron, and something else, whether it's cobblestone or grass for the the rest?
So, I mean, I can go to my client with some other ideas. This is what they would prefer seeing. So if you have like a strong objection to something, maybe you can say what your objection is, and then maybe we can work around that rather than being prescribed exactly what we need to have in the driveway.
I think with this combination, it would be helpful to just have pictures of examples in the area of that.
Okay.
I'm just thinking, I haven't seen it, and it's all about sort of fitting in the the immediate area.
I agree with you, Angus. If you have the mica pavers and the brick tracks, I mean, that's a lot. I'd rather see more textural variety.
All right. So I think what I'm going to put on these notes so far is just too much paving for the driveway. 3-foot type 2 picket recommend, just to make sure of that. Is there anything else?
Yes.
Yes. Go for it.
Okay, since this is hardscaping, I'm wondering where the AC units are going to go. And the outdoor lighting. You have a large patio in the back, which looks like it's got a pergola. I have concerns with excessive outdoor lighting.
The AC units are gonna go behind the shower, and if we do any lighting, it's just gonna be down light, just to light the path, low voltage, very minimal amount.
I also would like to say that I did go up there, and I'm glad that you're going to be extending that that fence with the peepholes, or whatever you want to call it. I think that's a nice it's a nice touch, and it's a classy looking little bit of change.
Thank you.
All right. Let's see, outdoor lighting plan, AC units, paving in the driveway, 3-foot type 2 picket, and we'll just say appreciate
Continued use of existing fence.
yeah, appreciate use of tall fence style. I'll edit that down for clarity later. Okay, I think that's it.
Thank you so much.
Yep, thank you,
Thank
Elizabeth.
you.
Bye.
Oh, boy. There we go. All right. So what do we have next? Let's see.
Did you get North Mill?
I did. Yes, let's look at that. I think I did. All right, so we're going to look at the garage first. And just start at the site plan just so we can reacquaint. Approved main house. Garage in previous location shifted forward and rotated, it appears. And here are the elevations. Looks like the hood was removed. Okay, it looks like a dormer was added. And that dormer looks like it faces north away from the driveway. All right, 7 and Mill. Lucy,
No comments.
was that?
No comments.
No comments. Okay, Angus?
Um, I'm opposed to the flush garage dormer. It makes the building feel too vertical. And it feels less and less like a garage and more like a guest house.
Mhm. Oh, I'm sorry. Is there anybody here that wants to speak to this? I apologize. All right. Being none, we'll move forward.
Brooke, can I ask you one thing? How tall is the garage?
Maximum height looks like it's 20 feet 8 inches. Yeah, 20 feet 8 at the height. And then the secondary mass is 18 feet 5.5.
Okay. So it doesn't go over 20 feet.
Yeah, it's not over 21. Feeling, but so everything else looks okay, though. I mean, it's a pretty, to me, it's just a pretty simple building, pretty simple massing, and it's diminutive in scale. And it's tucked off the road, so I personally am okay with this. But
I think it's a lot simpler without the dormer.
all right. All right, I'm gonna say dormer creates vertical feeling.
I agree.
And removal would simplify. All right. Anything else?
The hood actually helps reduce the feeling of verticality in that gable
Hmm,
where the doors are in that west elevation.
yeah, I like the hood myself, so it could probably be dropped a little bit just to maybe.
I mean, it was a heavily vegetated hill, but now it's, a hill with all this construction on a plateau with the trees pretty much being cleared. So I think, what normally would be a diminutive structure is sort of put on a pedestal here and will accentuate any verticality.
All right, so hood helps though, is what you're saying.
Yeah, not having the flush dormer and keeping the hood, I think both help mitigate the verticality of it.
So I think that faces back towards the house. I'm not sure you're gonna see it, but
Coming down North Mill, when you see it? No. Oh, wait, it's facing, never mind.
yep. So that's
Just
just an
thinking about the
aesthetic
old
question.
orientation.
Yeah. The only thing you'd see is probably the dormer
Yep.
from Mill Street. All right, so being no other comments, I can move forward. Let's see. All right, so here's the hardscape. Let me, I'm gonna just check the application here. Just so we know what we're looking at. So gate, hardscape, stone patio, bocce court, which I think has been eliminated, fire pit, which I think has been eliminated, but we will see. Retaining walls, arbor. Walls, let's see, Goshen reclaimed granite. Pound fieldstone, okay. So low cut privet, split rail fence. Reclaimed granite steps.
That's all the previous.
Oh, this is, okay,
Yeah, that's previous. That's off the table these days.
okay. So we are looking at a different one, sorry, thank you. I was wondering about that. We sure about that? Because it's showing
Yeah.
the,
Now, the previous, the correct one is, it,
This is from November.
yeah, the correct one was submitted in February.
No bocce court, right?
Yeah, there's no bocce court. The whole front area where the fire pit and all that stuff was
oh,
gonna go.
okay, sorry, yeah. It's-
Yeah, that's what you want.
All right, thank you. All right, so, so really, what are we looking at? We're looking at the parking and the driveway and the apron, right? Is that,
Well,
is
we're
that
looking
really
at
it?
the application has been changed, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that all the stuff that was gonna go on the hillside is out. And that vegetation is gonna be left untouched, which is a very good thing. My only concern is that, as we all know, people who get in big equipment and they move dirt around, stuff gets destroyed.
Mhm.
That vegetation, that area that's supposed to be left untouched, if they could do hay bales or something like that to restrict the devastation.
Yeah, I don't know that we can comment on that, but I will put that in there. We'll just say defensive measures would be appreciated. Defensive excavation measures. Appreciated.
And there's a big grade change. If you look, it goes from, 39 to 46.
Yeah. So how about the driveway and the parking? I mean, that's what North Mill is. It's pea stone. So you're
Looks good.
basically matching North Mill.
Yeah. We
I'm
can see-
happy about the cobblestone apron and the pea stone driveway. All that seems good. I-
So driveway and apron, okay.
So these contours have already been approved?
Diane, yeah, actually, Diane, I forgot that you're here.
Yes. They have been certainly discussed. I don't know whether we have taken an actual vote on approving the different levels going from 41 up to 46 in the front. I believe that is still under question.
And the fieldstone wall and that last,
The fieldstone wall, just we're back to the old one with the bocce court. We had a discussion the last time it was up as we wanted to see a picture of what the fieldstone wall was actually going to consist of. That not just the saying it's going to be, and the garage being changed was one of major concern. And so that's where it sits now, is the location of the garage and the dropping of the thing and what is seen going down the hill there. And some count of the trees with the construction of the house up there, not cut them down just because they're in the way at the moment. So,
But the only existing tree in the building area is that one black one in the northwest corner. All the rest are new trees.
right, all the rest are gone. That's
Yeah.
true.
So there was just that that section elevation with a wall, but I'm not seeing it now. So I guess that's part of what was gotten rid of in previous plans.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, looking at this, sorry.
No, this looks like a new plan that's come after we had our last discussion and coming in tonight or tomorrow night. Trying to relax, make it more natural, not so square. That was one thing that was picked up. Brooke, what about that black one, the black tree that's over on the northwest side? Is that an existing tree?
I have no idea. I am going to assume that the black trees are existing because
Yeah,
right here it says proposed new trees 16 feet to 18 feet high, and they're brown. So.
right. Well,
Um,
I would agree with you. That's what I think too.
Yeah, so if, I mean, at least it looks like they're making an effort to keep the black trees. You know, the black
Yeah.
graphic. And looking at this section, this talks about the grading. It looks like this, hang on a second, I have a better one here. You know, it looks like they're cutting into the grade as opposed to building it up at 50, which, you know, I think that's always preferable.
Well, we
Uh,
have started to bring back the fact that they're not supposed to put more dirt in than 2 feet. And not, up something by 6 feet to make a plateau. So it does look like that. To say this is a new elevation.
Yeah.
But between the grade and the trees have been our two major concerns.
Yeah. Well, it does, yeah, I mean, at least on this elevation, it looks like a sum zero situation where they're adding the same amount of grade that they took away over here, more or less.
Right.
On the driveway side, just in this area, they obviously, which is this area right here, they're showing that section there, but I think that where that line is represents what the grade is at the property line. So you're only.
Yes.
Like, yeah. And it looks like they're berming it. And that the fieldstone wall is only in that retaining wall is only along the driveway.
There are two walls along the driveway.
Yeah. So.
Well, I'm just so much happier to see this landscape than the earlier iterations.
Yeah.
So,
Well, so let's just, I mean, let's say generally positive on the changes. How about that?
yep.
Did you notice that the proposed fieldstone walls are 30 inches high? That to me is,
That seems a little excessive to you.
yeah.
All right. 30.
I mean, the way that.
I would think 24.
Yeah. the
Or
way-
18.
yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't it follow the contour of the land?
Mhm.
If you look at the plan, the way the walls are and the way they curve, I mean, it looks like a pretentious entrance to an estate.
Well, I think
Right.
it could probably move with the grade. All right, could be lowered.
Yeah, see the big sweeps that happen before it cuts across, before the elevation line cuts across the drive.
Mhm.
This is more than about the grade change, because, I mean, to have a 30-inch wall when there's a restricted no build area, I mean, you would think if it was that way, you wouldn't need any wall at all.
Well, they need a driveway.
Yeah, but
And I think, if you look at that land, I think having the driveway sunk down in is probably better than having a scar that goes up and over. So I don't know. I think they got to do something to make that happen, and it helps keep the vehicles and entry a little more discreet, at least from North Mill and maybe from looking from the Angola end of things. But
okay, I'm only questioning the height of it.
yep,
But-
and I that is noted right here,
And I'd also like to bring up outdoor lighting,
and outdoor lighting.
because with a wall that high, for all you know, someone might cook up the idea of having a street number uplighted on that wall.
Yep. No uplights. Period. All right. We good?
So how are you referencing the ball height?
All right, so this is what I'm writing down. All stuff on hillside gone is appreciated. Defensive excavation, hay bales would be also appreciated. Driveway and apron okay. Generally positive on changes. 30-inch high retaining could be lowered and move with grade. Outdoor lighting plan and no uplights.
So can we specify a number like no greater than 18 inches for the wall or something?
Well, we
I
could
mean,
try.
if it's pretty much following grade,
Yeah. So we'll
That
say
means
max
0.
18 inches.
Yeah. Good
All right.
idea, Angus.
All right. We good?
great, Brooke, thanks.
Let's see. See Lenhart here and a Tori Ewing. Tori, who are you representing? Okay. Well, I'm gonna try Chuck Lenhart. Hey, Chuck, are you available?
Brooke, yes, I am here.
Hey, how are you? All right,
good, thank
since
you.
you're here, I'm gonna try and take a look at Ash Street.
Great.
Give me a few seconds.
Yep. You,
One. That is addition and gate and demo shed. So I'll do addition and gate. All right, this is 8 Ash Street. Add a porch. Remove one window, new addition on east elevation, new addition AC screening for Lucy. New addition, new porch, move arbor. All right. 912 pitch, porch is 412. Let's see. Okay, so I think that's all pretty normal stuff. There's Ash Lane. So it's right in the middle. So Chuck, what part of this site plan shows the addition?
That's just the existing condition site plan. So if you go down, there's a comparison, and actually there was a site plan that was showed existing and proposed. But essentially all of our real alterations are either north or south. The primary facade of the really historic, oldest part of this building fronts on Ash Street. And so these proposed, the deck is on the north side, the addition is on the south side. We step them back about 4.5 feet. So we really try not to compete with the historic element, the main mass. So that, yeah, the top is existing. There's the existing or the historic element, the funny little shed that is on the right-hand side, and we're going to take that out. That's the shed we'd like to remove. And a 2-story addition goes into place. And again,
Has this been through HDC yet?
no, you guys are the first to look at it, and we're going up, we're in that queue. We probably won't get our way through the queue for a month or so, but we're in the queue.
All right.
Go ahead.
So this is west is visible to the street, and
Yes.
probably somewhat north, probably north.
North has there's a large open yard. So when you come up the street, you look into that side elevation.
Gotcha.
But the
Gotcha.
back of the house is on Ash Lane. So it's also visible.
Okay.
And it crowds right up to the street on both ends.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And then the south looks into the
Right.
neighbors.
So a little bit of history. There's a great book that was done by the house history book was done back in the early 1990, right after there was a major renovation to this house, and the entire rear L was removed and completely reconstructed. At that point, I've opened some walls up there, and we're fine. It's all brand new framing. The house itself went through, in my mind, it's a gut renovation, because there's no plaster and lath left in the building as far as I can find. Maybe some on the 3rd floor. I didn't really bother because I'm not changing things up there, but it's all blue board and skim coat, all a replica moldings, profiles, that type of thing. We have old floors, we have old doors, all set in new elements. So the interior, the real history disappeared some time ago. It was put back together in not a disrespectful fashion, but even the windows they took the old sash and put those into nice historical replications, where there's still the 1-inch putty glazed mortise and tenon sash set into a frame with metal weather stripping and things like that. So it was done in a very sensitive fashion, but
Nice.
yeah.
All right. I'm gonna just scroll through the photos that were provided. So this is 1922. All right.
Right.
This house was owned by Susan and Bill Boardman until a few years ago. And I believe that when they bought it, maybe in the 90s, it was in a horrendous shape. And so they were the ones who did all the work on this.
That's in that house history that I think it was noted that the prior owner had not done anything to it for about 60 years.
Yeah, the NPT did the house
Right.
history on it, probably written by Betsy Tyler.
That's it, exactly.
Well, clear it off the window so I let it run for about 15 minutes.
Okay.
It's a nice house. I've been in it.
Really. You know, I
Well-
submitted black and white photos because your website specifically requested that. The thing that I'm really seeing here is the black and white photo seems to, we lose an awful lot of detail. I don't know if that's a preference for you or in reviewing these kind of houses.
I think that that request is prior, was when, back when we used to hand things in with paper.
Got it.
Because almost every single photo that is submitted now is color,
Right,
because it becomes a PDF.
right.
So the way I'm hearing this is that what we're really looking at is an addition to the house, and that there's not a lot of original interior fabric left. Does that sound about right, Chuck? Is that your
That's it. And you know, but the one thing I really kind of, you know, there are a couple decorators involved. The owners seem to have a handle on the respect for the history. So the really important thing that I've been pressing is that we maintain that floor plan, and it's an unusual floor plan, but it's got the central hallway flanked by these rooms, that each room is just a long linear space, each with 2 fireplaces. And we're going to maintain that for the most part, that whole, you know, that whole front of that space, other than opening a couple of openings up for them, that at least we hold true to that. In the back, we're going to open things up a little bit more, but you know, there's a dining room and there's kitchens, and that was, like I say, that whole back part of the building was completely reconstructed. It was taken right, you know, it's on a concrete foundation.
Mhm.
Even the main house, when you go up underneath, it's got a brand new pressure treated floor system and concrete foundation poured inside the rubble foundation. So there was a pretty significant reconstruction. The chimneys were all rebuilt at that point and relined.
Well, the Boardmans are, they do good things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so that's existing and proposed. There's a porch over here. Gonna add a little bit of space there.
And that's done by simply pulling forward that roof line that is established at the back of the building already. So we just bring that forward. That's it.
Yeah, like
Like,
that.
and then stop short of that window so that we're, again, trying to not to impact the front.
All right. Angus, Lucy, either of you want to?
I have no problem with this. I don't know if I should be speaking on this because
Just because they're your friends doesn't mean you can be can't be biased and opinionated.
Oh, my office is right across the street. The land council. But but I do have one question. Is that little shed, is that salvageable?
So it's a getting it out of there is the challenge of how to get it out of there.
Okay.
And it's an odd little critter in that what you don't see is on the side that faces the house, there's a big indentation there where it was a place meant to stack wood and things like that. So and then it's got a ward on the other end that shows up it's just half of the gable coming forward. So it's a very awkward thing to try to pick up and move. I can't get in there with the crane. I can't really get in there with, even when we go to dig this, we're going to have to go in with a very small piece of equipment. We don't want to disrupt the existing masonry wall that is on Ash Street. So we're going to kind of dig in a fairly sensitive fashion to get a foundation under the addition.
Okay, I was just asking because we hate to see more stuff go to the dump than necessary.
Right.
And I appreciate that you have where the AC units are gonna go. I have a thing about that. Other than that, I don't have a problem with this.
Mr. McLeod?
I don't really have any issues with the porch extension of that roof. I guess it's on the north side. On the south side, that addition is a concern for me as far as its impact on the existing south elevation of that gable. There's a lot that's getting interrupted. The gable windows in the attic. It looks like the first floor, there aren't connections, so there probably wouldn't be loss of structure on the first floor, but certainly on the second floor, there would be the loss of material. But it feels like a large addition that's feels fairly far forward. I'd much rather see program go to the back of the house rather than out to the side at this height. That's really my issue with it.
Can I say something?
Yes, please.
Okay, on the west elevation, the front elevation, I just think that where the shed was, that a 2-story addition is too big. If you look, to me, if you look at the existing west elevation, it's a very simple, very typical of an old house in Nantucket. And you put that shoulder on, it destructs the simplicity of what was there, and it makes a competing thing. And what was a simple 5-bay thing has now become like a 7. I don't think it's a good idea.
Okay.
That's just my single opinion, but
Yep.
I listened to you all, and I don't think anybody else agrees with me, but I just wanted to say why I think so.
Well,
Diane, I think you're saying what I'm saying.
yeah, you and Angus are speaking the same thing, just differently.
Right. It's heavy on the east elevation. When you see it over there, it destroys the simplicity of the house.
If the back is already
That's all.
disturbed, I'd rather see the program go back there rather than on the side.
Yeah, so
I
you're
think
saying
it
take-
compromises the facade.
Yeah. And what is that going
Yeah.
to be? That's going to be a storage and like a yoga type studio. Yeah, I mean, it could shift back here. All right, so prefer to push the program to the rear. Addition makes building feel like a 7-bay.
Can I add, so the whole impetus of this addition
Yeah,
is the second floor. It's to provide bathrooms for the bedrooms. That's,
gotcha.
and that can't shift. That's the whole impetus of all of this, is to get that. The shed space below becomes a replacement for the shed that goes away.
Right.
And unfortunately, that can't shift. If in fact, I looked at something that shifted it back somewhat more, but then the bedroom loses a window. So now we lose a bedroom.
Right.
That's the kind of messy part of all of that.
Well, it does
Wait,
look like the addition could be shifted inwards to take down the its impact.
The scale,
Yeah.
that 12'6"
Yeah,
could be reduced. Yes.
yeah.
If that made it feel better. Yeah.
I'll just put reduce length question. All right, anything further? All right, so what I'm putting on the notes, prefer to push program to rear. Addition makes it feel like 7-bay. Reduce length of addition, question mark, as a possibility. All right, so the demolition, shed demo. Shed built 1990. I think even though, it's difficult to move this, I think we should ask that this be approved as a demo move off.
Yeah,
What's the history on the shed?
1990.
Yeah, it would be preferable since it's fairly new that it's not lost.
It's kind of funky looking.
It's very unusual.
Someone had some fun with the hammer.
Steep pitches.
Yeah, it's like a treehouse almost. All right, so I think we're all kind of on an agreement there. Chuck, do you have anything else?
No, that's it.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
And, all right. So next I have 2 Candle House. I don't see the application.
Yeah, that was my question on this.
Application.
Do you want me to email Esmeralda and ask if she can send it to us and we can come back?
So this is a new dwelling. And this, it must have been an 5181 or whatever those are called. This is behind Bernie Bartlett's old house.
Right.
So this is that new dwelling that's, I guess it's being proposed here. So I think we can look at this building because it's new. And we can look at it for its context and its massing and all the normal relevant concerns. And here we go. All right, so this looks like it that faces the street. Hang on, I'm just gonna scroll through this because I want to see if there's any topo plan.
There isn't any.
Yeah,
And isn't that a big concern over there?
well, it's a big drop, like off of Candle House. I mean, that whole area drops down quite a bit. I know that lot 2 right here, which is Bernie's old house, Bernie's parents' old house, I should say. There was a whole pile of sand and dirt that was brought in.
which
So-
was not approved.
Which was not approved. So I think,
Isn't there like a 6 or 8 foot drop
oh, it's at least that.
on this slope?
Yep, it's a lot of fill if they're talking about fill.
Should we hold this off until next week when we have the full application?
No, I think we can make recommendations.
Okay,
I think we can look at the architecture, we can talk about the site. So Angus, do you want to go
Well,
first?
I was gonna say that, in general, that they're really following the guidelines. It's a fairly typical 5-bay, except for the door sort of being out of line with that second floor window. But the massing telescopes to the back appropriately. And my concern is what is happening from the shingle line down. I mean, they're showing a slight drop, but my concern is that you have sort of a 3-story effect. Yeah, kind of where your hand is, because there's so much of a drop there.
Mhm. Yeah,
Is it-
I think that this,
That's not a realistic interpretation of grade,
yeah, I think it's more like this.
at least, yeah. Probably
all right.
down at the line of the east elevation.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. It's probably lower than that even. It's probably somewhere more like this. All right. So Lucy, any comments on the architecture? I think we are all on the same page with regards to the contours.
okay. Yeah, I do. Shouldn't there be a chimney on the main mast if you've got a chimney on the back end?
Mhm.
And then I do have a couple of questions. Of course, the front door being off in position, as Angus mentioned. East elevation, those 4 windows ganged up. I think that's too much. And then on the south elevation, you've got 3 windows there ganged up. And the 4 other ones, but the 3, they're 2/2s. I don't understand why those are 2/2s when the rest are 6/6s. And then you've got more of the 2/2s on the west elevation. And I think the excessive amount of French doors there.
And that's a really steep pitch, that 12 pitch.
Yeah,
Everything else is, more reasonable, 8, 9 pitch, 8 pitch. And I agree about the 2/2s. That's just that back part. It's like it was a later addition that doesn't really fit in.
yeah, exactly.
They're gonna call it a sleeping porch.
A lot of sleeping going on.
Yeah,
Yeah, but with the pitch difference and the window differences, it just,
And the chimney would even be taller than that probably because I think it's too close to that other roof line.
Yeah, I agree with what's been said. I personally think that a 5-bay on Candle House is just too much. Every building on that street is, the eave lines are low. Like, I think maybe the neighbor's house is similar to this, but most of them have low eave lines. I think just personally, I think it's a missed opportunity to build another bungalow type structure, or just something that was sympathetic to the house on the corner of Candle House and Pleasant.
The
'Cause
neighbor
that
that's
is like
3
a
feet
little
away.
bungalow area. We've got the Grimes place across the street, we've got Bartlett's, and then I think there's another kind of bungalow-esque building right there. So, but that's just my own personal.
I
taste.
agree with you, Brooke. It's because of the slope too. I mean, they really get a whole other story downstairs that could be, the 2-story could basically be below street level, and the 2nd story be at street level. Just because of the major grade change there. And it looks like the chimney is 8 feet from that other peak. So it's, it's gonna have to be even higher, which is more awkward.
All right, so we've got a starting point. All right, so I'm putting where's application, chimney on main house, front door, out of center, ganged windows, and the 2/2s versus 6/6 sixes, lots of French doors, 12 pitch on with a house that's predominantly 8 pitch. Needs surveyed contour map with proposed fill. 5 bays at 2 stories are not in context with Candle House. And then of course my own input, a possible bungalow style structure.
One question. In that area, how many roof walks are there?
I don't know.
Farther up towards Main Street on Pleasant, yeah, but down there, I mean, what are you gonna do? Look at the trees?
Yeah. Yeah, I think some photos would have been helpful of the neighborhood.
I'd rather see a chimney, central chimney there than a roof walk.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a long roof walk, which I think it's a long ridge, which I think is why the roof walk is there.
Okay,
But that comes back to whether or not this facade is even appropriate for Candle House. Given that, at least in my memory, my recollection, most of those are low eave lines or maybe 1.5 story, all the way down, all the way to North Mill.
Yes.
So, Angola is kind of an anomaly, but I think we're not building on Angola. So, all right, I guess we're all kind of in agreement on that. I'm going to
Yeah.
move on to the next one unless there's anything else.
yeah, Brooke, did you say that the application was missing?
Yep, where's application?
All right, thanks.
And all right, 1 Westchester. TNT roofing, change from 3-tab sea green to architect Georgetown gray. 1 Westchester. Okay.
Brooke, is that still within the old historic district?
This building?
Yeah, 1 Westchester.
Yeah. I think zoning wise, it's let me check here. It's certainly an old home. It's a Greek revival, obviously.
There's no date on the application.
He's a roofer.
We've had many applications from a roofer that wants to change everything to architectural. downtown.
I think that has to do with warranties. But to be consistent, we've been discouraging those.
Yeah, it's ROH. That's the zone, so it's definitely in the historic district. All right, one Westchester. Lucy,
Because especially since it's on a prominent corner.
Yeah.
Once again, I'll say I'm a wood roof person.
right, but you can't force people to pay more for a wood roof. But there is an opportunity, there is an option with an asphalt roof to go with what is generally considered appropriate.
Okay, well, I will leave that up to you guys, or ask Diane for her input on this. I'm not up to snuff on the different colors of architectural.
That's a good question. Diane, what are you guys approving these days?
Well, the most approvable one that we've had is the Moray Black architectural. It was,
Okay, more black, MO.
I think it's MOIRE, like French.
Oh,
Moray.
so
Moray.
noir.
And then there's a dual. A black, which is not black like 3-tab black.
Yeah. So more black architectural is appropriate. I mean, we can say, and 3-tab, is 3-tab gray still appropriate?
Yes. The only reason, I guess, is they claim that within a few years, they're going to lose the warranty on a 3-tab.
Okay,
I think those are 20-year roofs,
Right.
the 3-tab, as
I got
opposed
a
to
new
the
roof.
25 or 30 for the architectural.
But are we going to destroy what we have downtown for warranties?
Absolutely not.
all right.
Then we
All right, so more black.
buy solar panels on. Anyway,
All right, so more black architectural is appropriate, 3-tab gray is appropriate, and 3-tab black is appropriate.
right, I would think. And a wood roof is appropriate.
Yes, and of course, a wood roof. All right, moving on.
We're gonna do 82 Center? Yes.
Yeah, there's no application with this one either.
Just to remind everybody that I think on this is that they have the AC units near the, next to the propane tank. We all recall, that's one of you pulled up information. I think it was you, Brooke, that
Yep.
is not legal.
Yep. Cannot be near a source of ignition.
Yeah,
10 feet.
yeah, well,
So yeah, so which one is this? This is this 82 Center?
yeah, it's right on the corner.
So they are asking for replace front wall and install something, and there is no application.
Yeah,
I
I-
see.
no, I see the application says replace front walk and install AC condensers.
You have the application? Because I don't.
Yeah. Did you
Huh.
scroll up there? Scroll up, it's right. Keep on going.
No, this is the top. This is it for me.
Oh, okay, let me read what I have then. Install 24-inch by 12-inch bluestone patio in backyard. 24 feet by 12 feet, excuse me. Replace existing flagstone walkway with 8 12-inch by 18-inch bluestones and install AC condensers next to propane tank.
All right. So
Anything new about this?
I don't think there's anything new. I think that this must just be carrying over.
Yeah,
So we should just resubmit our comments.
Okay.
yeah. And as a reminder from Gull Island, you can see that backyard.
Yep.
I went down there and looked.
Yeah, backyard is visible.
This house used to belong to Phil Austin's mother. I can't remember her name. It was not Austin. And she lived there for a long time.
I would prefer that they kept those stepping stones to the door. I think that large, what would they say, 12 by 8?
Yeah, the bluestone's not appropriate.
It's too formal. And I mean, this is a cottage looking house. I mean, we just had applications where people were looking for the informal stuff. I think down here that they should keep what they have.
All right. All right. So we have 24 North Liberty. This is 1920. We are looking at a 20 by 10 shed. Eight-pitch roof. There's Gingy Lane in Darrymore. Okay. It's a charming little building. All right. Any remarks, Angus, Lucy?
The combination of the doors on the east and the north is too much.
I don't think the north is going to be visible. The south will be.
But those east doors facing the driveway.
Mhm. So there's actually, they seem too tall to me.
Yeah.
But there are doors just like that on High Street on an old shed right behind Simonov's, whatever the guy that bought well, right on the corner of Hiller and Pine. There's that little garage with the rolling garage doors. It's the same setup with the doors.
What color are those? Do you remember?
They're dark green.
Okay, these are, I believe on the application are black.
Mhm. So we could ask, let me, I'm gonna measure these, hang on.
Brooke, I'm with you as far as how vertical these doors are. And they, at first glance with the smaller panels, it looks like they would be rolling, but then in the plan it's swinging. So how that ends up really looking, I think is important. And also the panels look really long. I would do single panels below
Hmm.
as opposed to two long panels.
All right, so
And
they're
I-
7 feet 4 inches tall. I think they're too tall for that elevation.
And what do you think they have? The doors have 6/6s, but the window above is 2/2. And then
Yeah, it's a 4 light. What's the house?
I don't know, but on the south side that they have 6/6s too.
Yeah, it's hard to tell what the house is, but it should, oh, they are 6/6s.
How old is the house? Does it say, Brooke?
1920. All right, so.
So the house has these really deep overhangs, and if it's gonna, be an extension of the house, I think it wants to have similar as opposed to flush overhangs.
Hmm,
Doesn't have to be as extreme as the house, but I
Right.
think that would help make it fit in. But again, I think dormers on a garage just they're not appropriate. Garages don't have dormers, and they don't have flush dormers.
Yeah, it could be stepped back. It's on the back of the building, so it's not quite on the street. Certainly the one on Gingy Lane, I think that's definitely gonna be visible.
And the dormers are going all the way to the peak, and they shouldn't be.
Yeah. Let's see, so doors are too tall and too busy. Facing street. Building needs overhangs. Needs projecting eaves, even rake. Like main house. So
I mean, this could be a cute little
Okay.
guest house if that's what they're doing. I mean, obviously it's not a garage because but I don't think the car is going to fit through that 2-foot door.
right.
Ah,
If they get it up on 2 wheels,
Mini Cooper.
there you go. A very mini Cooper. A micro Cooper.
Right.
Shouldn't we have a plot plan for this? Oh, I guess we,
Uh,
there is.
I think there is. Oh, it's right there. It's right in front of you. Should be.
Yeah,
Isn't this Taylor's house?
I don't know who owned it.
Bob Taylor, the builder. He did several houses right around there.
And the trim should be white like the house as opposed to black. I'm
Right.
sorry, the trim is white. The doors, I think should match the colors of the doors on the house, and it looks like it's gray.
the our agenda says that this is a shed. And if the plot plan, the driveway does not go all the way to this structure,
Mhm.
really, there's no reason for them to have doors that make it look like a garage.
Well, they're calling it a shed, and conceivably they would bring equipment into the shed.
I
And
guess what I'm,
why did they have those little narrow doors?
yeah. Why do they need all those doors?
It looks like a little, like what would make a cabana later on.
Yeah,
Yeah. Ah,
Um, well, I think that those doors are probably there to replicate like something like what's up on Hiller's Lane, which does work. It's a really cool look. And it's perfectly appropriate for 1920s era type buildings. I think, the roof pitch could probably be made more like what the existing one is, which I think that's a 9. Just looking at it. All right, so I'm going to just reread what we've discussed. Doors too tall and too busy facing street. Building needs projecting eaves and rakes like main house, though stepped, though not as severe or as pronounced, I should say. Not as pronounced.
Are you talking about the overhang?
Yeah,
Just in proportion. So, I mean, it's a smaller structure than the house, so the overhang would be smaller, but proportionally it should have the same overhang.
dormer is visible to Gingy. Shouldn't be flush. Shouldn't be flush.
And shouldn't go to the ridge.
Yep. Not to ridge. All right. I think that's enough to at least get the conversation going at the HDC.
yeah, I guess my objection is that it's made to look like a cute little garage, which I like small buildings, but then the driveway doesn't go to it.
Mm-hmm. Well, they could run a couple of, maybe run some stone tire tracks, but not every garage has, like, if it's used once a year, in theory, you're just going to drive over the lawn to get into it.
Right.
So I'd rather that there was no paving. I'd
Less
rather it was back
hardscaping.
that far. But, all right, we got enough. And Diane has probably filed all of this into her memory, so let's see.
I have a little book.
Ah, there we go. A little black book.
Little black book.
Who's been good? Who's been bad?
Yes.
I know where I sit.
I had a boss that did that years ago.
Did everybody see that Johnny's put in for running?
Yes, we did.
Oh my. Anybody running against him?
No, not at the moment. I bet you Steve Welch puts his name in.
Yeah. All right. So this is Gardner Road, 18 Gardner Road, and the application is for add a portico to the front of existing house and add a fixed window,
So why are we doing Gardner Road?
because that was next.
I think,
No, but that's not in town.
yeah, this is out of town. This is not Gardner Street.
Oh, well,
This is off Popus Road.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. So I don't know, it was on our list,
Mistakes happen.
unless there is a Gardner Street that's up.
No, this is Gardner Road,
All right, one less. All right.
and it's 1965.
It's all going to be historic someday.
Yeah, yeah.
It belonged to the Reggies.
All right, so next
Who-
is,
Their daughter married Kennedy.
oh, yes, yeah, Victoria, 21 South Water
Yes.
Street. And we are adding double door where single door is now on the, and it looks like that's it. So this must be it. It's the,
So Vincent's. Is it? The takeout window at Vincent's?
yeah, I guess so. So we've got a French door, and then right in that area, there will be another French door. Huh. Hmm.
Right, that now for ages is it's the door to the takeout right there where your hand is, and the other door to the right that you only see off canter there goes into the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
So how can you put another door in?
Yeah.
So, all right, yeah, I kind of agree, but let's see what who started last time? Is
I
that
think Victoria's here.
Yeah.
right, but the representative is Lucasville.
Oh, pardon me. Chip.
Huh?
Chip Webster's.
It is?
Wait, I thought his, well,
Chip Webster, and he's not here, I don't think.
Yep.
All right, so Angus, your thoughts?
Well, all those examples look like they're on Steamboat Wharf.
Except for Rosencrown.
Except for the Resin Crown, which is right there. I mean, the design is certainly appropriate enough. I kind of prefer it to the 9 light that's there. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it.
All right. Lucy,
well, I mean, I think Diane's right. I mean, you've got, so you'll end up having 3 doors. I mean, that, I don't know how that works.
so you'll have the Rosencrown French doors, then you'll have these French doors, and then you'll have the triple doors on the restaurant.
Now, what do you mean the triple doors on the restaurant? Isn't that a bay window?
No. Well, I take that back. These, it's a central door with 2 windows on each side. That's
Hmm.
that view. You see what it looks like on.
Oh, in the floor plan, there aren't any swing lines. Okay, so
There's the handle. It's a dead giveaway.
yeah, right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, is there any kind of code conflict about one door swinging in front of another? Again, I think that the double doors look better than the single 9 light, but it seems a bit tricky there. 3 doors.
Yeah, it does. It seems very tricky. Yeah, well, I'm actually in agreement with Lucy. I think it's just too much French door.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're appropriate in and of themselves. I mean, I'd prefer to see that if they're going to change it from a 9 light to a 12 light with a kick panel.
That's what I mean. I think it's a better looking door.
Right, but not French door.
Right.
Is it door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3?
Or door number 5.
Say rose and crown.
They certainly have a lot going on there with the signs and the
Yeah.
above the door, awning.
All righty, so we know where we are with that, and Botticellian pole, 20 Orange Street, remove portion of pergola, remove part of pergola, remove part of pergola. Says revision to previous certificate. So there's the pergola. I know, I'm not quite following this.
Yeah, it looks like they're moving the center, removing the center section or something.
Or they're removing the pergola beyond that main pergola, which I don't care because you can't see it anyway.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
I,
Let me just double check. That might have been put there for a reason, come to think of it though.
is that a table and chairs underneath that? Under the pergola that they're removing? Is that what that is? What's that circle with its rectangles around
Right
it?
here? This?
No, it's on. Hmm. Scroll down. Yeah, what's that circle there?
Those are chairs. It's a table.
Okay, all right, that's what, I was just questioning
Those
that.
are diving boards into a super deep spa.
Hey, for all I know, it could be a fire pit.
A massive fire pit, which is why they got rid of the pergola.
Yeah.
They didn't want to burn it down. That's understandable. So I have no concerns. Any concerns?
Nope.
Concerns. 7 Green Lane. Rebuild and revise existing deck. Increase deck depth by 41 inches and length by 33. Where is Green Lane?
It's off of Milk Street. It's that little ruddy road.
Yep.
It's a UB.
Partly penny and then it turns into green.
So it, all right, so it was
So there
7,
were wide steps and now they've gotten narrow and centered somewhat.
which I think is an improvement.
Yep.
And then the deck has been made deeper by a few feet, by about 3.5 feet.
I went up there and looked at it.
Looks like it got dropped too in order to do that, which I think is helpful. Yeah,
Uh,
he's showing 4 risers where before there were 6.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back to the site plan shortly.
Okay, now if you look at where that lot is, to the left on the corner, that open area. From there on Green Street, that new deck will be very visible. Or at least it was on Saturday.
Don't we discourage, like, I mean, there are tons of porches. But like a raised porch like this, before we looked at the elevation, I was liking what was happening with the plan. But going from a 6 and change to a 10 and change deck, that's how far off the ground. I'm wondering how appropriate that is.
Well, I think what he's trying to do is he's trying, by lowering it 2 risers, I think they're hoping that that will be an acceptable change to allow for a deeper deck. I mean, I don't doubt that it will be visible. But that might be a fence along there. So who knows if Matt were here, he could maybe answer.
There is a fence along there. I'm looking at a photograph of it right now.
Okay.
And I would say that,
If you email it to me, I will put it up on the screen.
well, let's see how fast you get it.
All right. Ooh. There it is. Let's see.
Why do you suppose they made the foundation so tall? It's not under any flood circumstances.
Well, there is a grade change going up on Green Street. I don't
Yeah.
have front photograph of the front door, but as I recall from this weekend, the house sits up maybe 10 inches from the Green Street in the front. I could be wrong, but it does drop down, but you can see how visible that is. And I took that from that corner,
So,
right when,
Right.
so they're gonna lower that. So that, I mean, you'll still see the railing. All right, well. What is it, 7 Green Lane?
Yeah.
Green Lane.
So
Visible.
they're lowering it, what, a foot?
Hang on, I will.
From floor level to the deck was 3.5, and now it's gonna be 3.5. I just think raised decks are awkward.
Yeah.
And that is an appreciable extension of it.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose I could just have a stoop out the back to a deck,
Yep.
you know, or bring it. Yeah, it's visible. Shouldn't be 10 feet,
No, it's too much.
10 feet deep. All right, and I think that we can let the HDC decide what's appropriate in this instance.
Okay,
But-
but what do you, how do you feel about the extending the existing wood deck?
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that I think that we agree that it's too deep. We agree that it's visible. I think that,
Brooke,
Yeah.
excuse me, it's not that part, it's the other part down below in front of the driveway. Go back if you look at the plot plan or one of the plans. To the right, that long strip right there, that's what I was discussing.
isn't that a grade?
And that says it's existing.
But it's that, the enclosed red there is extend existing wood decking.
Right, so
there.
there's a wood deck right here, and they just want to make this a little bit wider.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking, what people think about that.
Oh, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
The gate should open the other way.
That's up to them. They'll figure that out. All right. Visible, shouldn't be 10 feet deep. Extra decking at driveway, okay. Driveway, okay. Okay. I think that's it.
What about 23 Broad?
23 Broad.
The Fenestration in addition, was that dropped? Or number 4 on
Yeah,
the,
hang on, let me, I don't know that that was actually in the list of links. Oh,
okay.
there it is. Hang on.
Matt McKechnie was on before.
He was?
Yeah,
Huh. Oh, sorry, we missed him. Normally I get a prompt to admit people, so I guess I didn't see that. Okay, so this is 23 Broad. This is, all right. Reviewed changes made per previous concerns. There is historic evidence of and precedent for the side deck. He looked into the mechanical equipment on the drawings, but he isn't proposing any changes to them. Let's see. Hold for revisions. All right.
He doesn't change it at all. How many times have we seen this?
I think it's on the planning board agenda tonight.
Well, planning board. I don't feel that we have to do what the planning board says unless they agree with us that,
All right, hang on, hang on.
I agree with you, Diane, 100%.
Does this look like you got rid of the
French doors.
deck?
And the
no,
deck?
Hang on. Ah. Deck and stairs gone.
But the stairs are still there. They're going towards the other friendship stair.
Right, but that's
they?
always, that is always the case. That's how it is. That's an existing condition.
I thought they came straight out.
Maybe. I thought, hang on.
That's
then-
way back. When it went into the kitchen.
Okay, there's proposed. These are proposed. I gotta find the existing drawings. Sorry. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's what it does now, Diane.
Comes out to that door. That's as best as we can do, probably.
Yeah, I think he's giving you everything you want, or at least nothing that you don't want.
But if you go back to that photograph that you just showed, Brooke, along that wall, they're putting in a bank of windows.
All right, so this is what's proposed.
Right.
Yeah, this is what was proposed.
And then down the other one is what was.
And that's what was. Well,
There's what was.
yeah, excuse me. I gotta sneeze, I think.
Bless you.
Ugh. Ugh. Excuse me. Sorry about that. All right, 23 Broad. Is there anyone here that would like to speak to this? All right, I
And
guess
I
not.
think they're also proposing that a restroom addition.
Right, which we haven't had a problem with this entire time. Or at least I haven't, and Mickey hasn't. I don't think the HTC has had an issue either. All right,
If there is not a deck, Brooke, why do they have, it says existing fence omitted for clarity?
Well, so there's a fence there, but it's just, it's not shown because it wants to show what's behind
I
the
know,
fence.
but what is it? Why is there a fence going under all those windows?
because it's there right now.
Okay,
It's
Even though
the old business used it as a screening for I don't know what.
okay, as long as there's no deck snuck in, then it's okay,
Yeah.
better.
Well, I think that that's a good thing to ask at the HTC.
Yeah, I will.
Well, I'm happy to start.
Mr. McLeod.
Just looking at the facade of the main building, there aren't any mold windows. And then there's, well, but that's a later, maybe not so appropriate addition. But those have that sort of 1930s double casing mull, which they could think about down there, or just, they could probably still fit in 6 windows, but just have 4 or 6 inches of shingle in between each window.
Lucy?
Like the roof,
This is, I'm fine with this.
All right. Yep. All right, so double, Angus, double malt match dormers.
Well, the first preference would be no mulling.
Yeah, or
Just
single.
shingle between the windows.
reduced to 3 windows.
All right, double malt match dormers or single units instead. All right. Anything else? Was there any other?
I just want to make sure that there are no windows on the back side of the building of the addition to the bathrooms.
I'm not even sure there's drawings for that side.
And that would be
Oh,
north
yep.
elevation.
Yep, there's nothing.
Okay, thank you. I don't think Emily wants to look in the window of a bathroom.
Hmm. All righty. I guess that's it. Anything we have to talk about?
No, you did a good job, Brooke.
Thanks, Lucy.
No, you did. You really did.
All right.
Excellent job, Brooke.
Yeah, let's not
Well
make it a
chaired.
habit, right?
So, and then, so how do we mesh our comments with Mickey's?
I don't know, because I haven't seen Mickey's. I never received them.
Oh. Should we text him or is,
I've made the request a couple of times, but no.
oh dear, hope he's okay.
No, not from Mickey.
Oh,
Like
okay.
he had sent them to Holly,
Oh,
and earlier in the day I had been going back and forth with Esmeralda about getting them, and she said that he sent them, but may have sent them to Holly. Still we don't have them, so.
okay. All right, thank you.
Dan, would you, do you want to say anything before we
No,
sign off?
I thank you very much for all your information. I've written it all down and go through it all, and it's a big help. And I think it's a big help for me to listen to you, because now I understand all the ins and outs.
All right, well, it's good to have you here too.
Yes, certainly is.
I third
Well,
that.
We have to fight to keep this island together and not become
Disneyland.
right.
Not fight,
I
enforce.
was thinking that a monorail from the dock
Yeah.
would be pretty cool.
Straight to the liquor store.
Straight to the liquor store, yeah. Well, they'll elevate the liquor store, so you can just go right over the town, and you can look down on it.
Right.
All right, so someone want to make a motion to adjourn?
Yes.
Moved.
All right, let me see, Angus. Oh, actually, sorry. Motion to approve the comments.
Yes.
Okay.
Second,
And now a motion to adjourn.
Yes.
second.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
See you,
See ya.
see you tomorrow.
See
Come
you
tomorrow.
soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.